Here with Josh Hailey in his Fondren studio in Jackson, Mississippi. You're an artist photographer, Josh. I know it sounds sort of cheesy that artists have to find an inspiration or something like that, but where do you find that? I guess the ideas or the inspiration to start on a project or to find your way through a project.
The inspiration. I don't know. That's one of the very tough and fun questions, but I guess I've been asked this before, but my inspiration pretty much is life, I guess. Waking up and walking outside, and especially, that's why I love this city so much, Jackson, because you never know what you're going to get. It's kind of a city that's always kind of in constant flux. You seems stable, and then it kind of something happens, something doesn't happen, but it's usually the people that you meet outside, especially in this city, I find have the best stories, the most amazing lives. They've been here, they've done that, they've brought it back to here, and that truly inspires me.
So as sort of an emerging artist yourself, you're starting to grow a little bit more. How did you get started out in the whole business of it?
You know what, I went to school for photography and did ceramics as a minor, and then ended up, I was offered a position at Mississippi State to teach or do an assistantship for a gallery management class. So that's really what got me for the gallery end of things. And I did that for a year, put on shows for the students, did the same thing pretty much. Got an emerging, showed the students there was a place to exhibit, they could make money, and sought out places to have shows and whatnot. And I was like, this is easy, I could do this. And it seemed like at the time there was a great scene in Jackson. A lot of my friends were here doing something, and I was like, I'm just gonna shell out a space and make a little gallery, do everything I want, make a studio.
Sure.
And that's what I did, and it's about to start into another level. I've been here for 3 years, but that's really what I wanted to do is, have a gallery, have a studio, do everything that I do, and get people interested. I've really tried to, and starting small in this little space here, but trying to get a lot of people to come here, all age groups, all considerations, do something very interesting, out of the norm, not so traditional, these copper things are traditional, there's a lot of craft work that comes from Mississippi, but then change it up and do some kind of crazy abstractions. And a lot of my Drunk Santa series is very different. So trying to break the traditional mold and bring something different to the city and inspire some kids and get the city on the move,
All right, Josh, this is your conceptions piece. Tell us about it.
This is a show that I had about 6 months ago and shot with fisheye lens. So this little camera that I have that has a fisheye kind of on the front, but it shoots circular and then process the black and white. And these are images from all over, be it New York, pretty much all over the states actually, from New York to Los Angeles to Mississippi, Austin, Chicago. But these are just little snippets of beautiful things that I've gathered, come back and painted with the developer, just kind of splashed it on there to make it look like they're conceiving themselves. Since it's a circular image, it's kind of making itself in its own little womb, so to speak. I don't want to get too drastically graphic with the thing, but it's its own little world. And by throwing you see what your image is gonna look like. I mean, what the film, your negative looks like, but when you throw the developer on there, it's just kind of in the dark, you don't know what you're gonna get. It's gonna make itself, it's gonna come out however it wants to. So it's all a world making itself was pretty much the whole conceptions idea to it. So photography is my medium that I like to record with, which from there, when you say a photographer, they're like, gonna take your portrait, and you pretty much get a portrait in the end. But I like to go back and use every element from getting my hands into the mixture and just playing and painting. You take the developer. If you're talking the darkroom, you're taking the developer and slashing it. You're putting things on the paper. You're cutting things up. You're doing more sculptural things, and then same with digital manipulation. I find that kind of painting with that's a modern interpretation of painting.
So this is something we really haven't talked about yet, your ceramic work. Tell us about what we're looking at here.
Yeah, when I'm mad at the photography end of things, I go and do something more sculptural, from the 2D to the 3D, but it's not something I've actually, as in Jackson for the last 3 years, I'm trying to develop, trying to get the kilns together, but I love ceramics. If I could actually do ceramics for my life, I would. It's the most peaceful, wonderful thing to play with mud and actually create things. It's a lot more peaceful than the photography end, for sure.
in your works and different things, you've traveled around quite a bit. Tell about some of your travels, some of the things you shot.
Well, I was lucky enough to try to pursue Spanish as a minor, and I didn't think I was until I actually went to Europe. And I do urge every artist and pretty much everyone to go and travel, go to Europe, go to South America, go help out, do Peace Corps, do this, get out of the States and go do something else and see the life, see the art of different cultures. You know, it's very important. But that whole time I was with camera and recording everything. So, I shoot mainly to remember.
Yeah.
Because I have bad memory. And I'm ADD, so I shoot a lot of stuff, but it's by the end of my life, I'll have a great recollection of things I've done, and it's kind of like my photo journal type of thing. So, but I like to bring that back to Mississippi. I want people to experience what I've experienced, or just see the world, through my pictures and whatnot.
You went to the coast after Hurricane Katrina,
yeah.
And I read that you said that it was at first difficult to shoot, but then once you started shooting, you couldn't stop.
Well, it was really the first time I'd ever done anything kind of photojournalistic before, because before that it was just me finding, just seeing the beauty and capturing it with the lens. But, I brought my camera down after the devastation and didn't want to have those images stuck in my soul and heart, because it's destruction for the most part. But I started to shoot, and, and through it all, there is this beauty and destruction, and there were all these themes that were running through. And one was all this like religious icons that hadn't been blown down, and things were just scattered everywhere around it, and just things were placed. It was like perfectly placed in certain ways. There was a lot of beauty that was down there. With the photography, it's a great medium because you can do a lot of commercial jobs with it, from weddings and whatnot, and then I take that and I do my art. So it's kind of like my job and my hobby. It's my passion.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, I know a lot of my painter friends that they just do it. They go commission to commission sometimes, and then they pour their heart and soul out to things, and people buy it. I mean, people love to see what artists see for a living and for life. It's a beautiful thing, and it works. And I have numerous friends that are making it as artists, but definitely it's tough.
It's something you really have to love to do.
I mean, you gotta love it. You gotta pour it out of your everyday life, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep at 5 a.m. You gotta want to do it. And what's really bad is with everything these days, you really gotta be able to market yourself, do the business end, and hit all the people and try to start a little revolution in its own sense, especially here. It's been fun, and it's just something I have a knack for, just people, and just kind of kicking people in the shins to come up here and see some really weird stuff. And I think it's worked, and I think it's going to be a bright artistic future, especially for this city at least.
Yeah, I'm sure if you got people up here to see it, then you could probably change a lot of opinions.
Yeah, no, I think that a lot of people have been really intrigued for the most part, and interested, and I think we're looking at new things and new ideas, new horizons, so I'm excited about it. And one last thing, the JoshHaileyStudio.com. Check it out.